Morning, guys. August the 21st here in Central Illinois. Nice and cool. Not going to be that way next weekend, back up into the 90s, but that's all right. I'll take the break. No air conditioner, no fan. Life is good. But I thought I'd show you what we're up to. This can of worms that I opened up. I had borrowed this. I think I told you this before. I had borrowed this self-powered motor unit from Steve Easton out in California many years ago because I was going to replicate it. It looks simple. It looks straightforward. It was made by a gentleman by the name of Ira Keeler. It's anything but simple or straightforward if you don't know what you're doing, which I don't. So this is what I'm working on. This is what I've got so far. I have got a frame made. I took the wheels. These are threaded so that I can screw them onto the axle so I can use it that way I can set depth. You've got to be under gauge on these. If you're tight, if it's a perfect fit, it will not go through the curves. So I always have to be under gauged, and I have to have slop. And normally I would check the slop here, and it still fits. But unfortunately, this can swivel, so the testing really don't amount to anything. But what I've got is I'm using this outside gear. This is what's on the back side of that wheel. If I counted it right, it's a 60 tooth. And what I've got here is a cluster gear, which I believe I got I bought for either a Lionel 42 that I had, or it's off of a super motor. I don't know which one it is. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have a gear train so that I can then put this motor in it. This is a Lionel post-war. This particular motor has a 10-tooth 40 pitch. And what I did was I bought a great little gear puller. I pulled the gear off of one. That's a 2mm gear. Not 2mm gear. A 2mm shaft. And then I bought a 12-tooth 48 pitch pinion gear can be pressed onto the shaft of that motor, which I have never done. It was easy to get off because I bought this handy dandy little gear puller, and this thing is absolutely super. I think I could even use it in pulling pinions off of Lionel motors. It goes clear up to 5mm, so for a shaft, and a nice little piece of work. I think I gave $24 for it. It was well worth it, and it's adjustable. So that's what I'm doing with that. But this is what we've got. It's working really good. Right now, this is smooth, as you can see. I don't know if I can spin it when you're one there. And I need to make a shoulder screw for it, or a shoulder bolt. All that is a 440 sheet metal bolt that I took and put in the lathe and just turned the head down so that it would slide. The gear would slide over the top of it. This is what I really need. I turned this down. This is a standoff, and that's what I use on this too, by the way. These standoffs, I can get various widths. That is about 1 inch and 15/16 is how wide it is. I can go narrower if I had to. I could go a little wider if it would tolerate it. I can't go a whole lot narrower because the motor that I'm using is, well, you can't see it because I can't get my hands out of the way. But anyhow, it's got just enough space. I could come in a little bit and make it narrower, but I don't think I really want to. But in the end, what we're hoping to do is have this drop right on, just like that. Going to have the front of this drop over the axle. And of course, I have to extend the axles on the back so that they will ride through this side plate. if the speed is just right, this is what's the real problem. I am not a machinist on this stuff. I don't want it to run too fast, but I don't want it to be geared too slow. Basically, I'm trying to do the same thing that this has been done. Now, this is set up exactly the same way. The motor pinion is riding on the top, and the smaller gear is riding on the gear on the wheel. And that's basically how I've got this set up. The smaller gear is riding on this gear. The pinion will mash with this whenever I get it done. So, excuse me. That's where we're at. The devil is in the details. I feel confident if I could just get the motor mounted and get the gear to mash, I think I can get this thing to running and it will run well. But it's got to run smooth. I don't want no hitch in its get-alongs. It's really funny. I've put various wheels with gears on it, and sometimes they're smooth as silk, and other times they want to lock up, and I don't know why, because it's the same gear. It could be because the wheels that I'm using, these wheels are all old wheels. They were starting to explode, but they're great to experiment with. So that could be part of the problem, that they're not quite as square as they should be. This particular one is in good shape. So when I mounted it and screwed it down to the gear, it had one little catch, and I had no idea why. Maybe there was a burr on one of the teeth. But I marked it, and it always stopped at the same place. I dressed it up just a little bit, and now it's absolutely smooth. So this is where we're at. I'm hoping to actually be successful with this. It's kind of fun, but it's all frustrating at the same time. So it's hump day, guys. So enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy the cooler weather if you're in cooler weather. We'll talk with you later. Toodaloo.